This is Gerald Johan van der Waas and the Educational Channel in support of the book and theory Sound in Form. The theory you can also find in Development of the Word, a separate book which I recommend over the Sound in Form of the 2 volumes. But if you want to have some extras, just go for the application of Word afterwards. What is it about? It's a system of thought, of theory, a theory with which you can understand all the combinations of letters in words, and it will show you that these letter combinations perfectly describe the words, the directions in the words that are originally intended to express in these words. It's very strange that it fits very well, but you have to learn the theory well to perform it well. The theory is very extended in the development of the word, but I explain you certain aspects of the theory with demonstrations. There are not too many demonstrations in the book, it's just a theory, but in the videos you have a lot of them. So for today I will continue from where I left off, and I will use and explain just 2 words. KAARS, the Dutch word, which also continues where I left off with the starting point of K and a double A, because KAARS is I also wanted to do that. I had that in my mind, and I didn't succeed with it immediately. I'll tell you why. And then of course I will also use the English word for it, candle. So KAARS is a very good word also to say again, like, don't use any of the puzzle pieces that you received just now and then too blindly. Underneath the formation, the sound in form results, and the puzzle pieces that I use now and then, there is the true theory is lying behind that curtain, and there you have beyond the connection points that I give to you via these almost symbols of connections. There are the real distinctions, so it's always good to know the real distinctions before trying to make a puzzle. And I had the example in the last video of K plus double A, and there I was in the there were 2 options that I had to form the K, which breaks up something, and the A, which connects. How to perform this on the in these 2 letters, which work very contradictory in content, the breaking apart, and then the connection to a center point or 2 center points. Where shall I add these center points? The real direct connections or choices that I have there at the right didn't seem a very good option, so I had another way to work it out, as you can see in the result there. And then most of the words that are formed from there, they are very clear in that way. But what if we will have as a next letter the R, which is almost exactly the opposite of K? Like, the K is a distinction with which you can distinct differences by breaking them apart. The R is bringing differences together so that they work better together. It's exactly the opposite. So I have to break something apart by going to the next letter of putting them back together. That's a contradiction, and that is I didn't know exactly how to do so. So I tried it once, and I saw that it was okay, but it wasn't clear. There was no clarity in there because of this contradiction. So there was already difficulties. Some of these difficulties you have now and then, and this is a very good example how to solve it. So let's have these connections again after the K of the R. It's almost like these connections that I had there at the right. They will actually help me to connect again. So we have this breaking apart and this keeping it connected in combination. So in this combination of this full vision, I can add the S there as well. The S with the R, these are connections that are made or developed by making the connections in an interactive field where it can be done. This is one way to express KAARS, but is it KAARS or candle? Is it clear what it is? No, not at all. But on the other hand, if you compare it to a vision from above, then I can recognize the candle, and so you can see the connections that are made in time and in an interaction process which connects itself to the thing in between, the thing, whatever it is, and makes these in the center, which is there in the center. It is as if the consuming flames of making connections that break apart the elements, it is something that can be recognized. But is it clear that this is about a candle in this image or in this content? Not very much, and that was disappointing for me that I had this. So I thought I have to do this differently. So these contradictions are much more clear maybe if I follow just the order in time, because R is about time, S is about time. It's better that I show the variations also in the time processes from beginning to an end, and that I will do, and possibly will make it much more clear what happens in the word KAARS, candle. So instead of designing the thing around one circle or a center, is the double center is around a center, it is okay, you can have that in that way. This time I will express it as a continuation in time. But before doing that, I also want to be sure that the K of the breaking apart is also very well the underlying content of that. I show the elements that are in there much more clearly, because that is the intention of K. It's not just breaking apart, it's breaking them apart so that you can realize much better what elements we have inside. And in the last picture it wasn't 100% clear. So I'll have to think again, is this puzzle piece clear enough? Because the K is a breaking point, while at the same time I have to connect. How can you show in your breaking point what the connections are about? So how can we match these contradictions? And that's one of these words that I have. There needs something to be solved. How can I do this? And by realizing what the essence of the K is, I will be able to bring back together the combination of R with the connection, or the bringing back together and the breaking apart of what we are bringing back together in combination. It's difficult, but it's possible. So I had to think a bit longer about this. I meditated it on this a little bit. I do that when I go to sleep, and I wake up, then I immediately have my mind going in the slumber towards the correct solution, and I have it. And when I think about it, what is actually the K? What is this breaking point? It's not just about breaking, it's this connection of distinction between 1 and 2. So it's something which is still within one center, but it's also already breaking into parts. That's the real essence behind the K. So there's sort of overflow from 1 to 2. That's the K. And in a way you can also express it as the form of the C. So this letter C is also expressed as the letter, as the sound, with the sound K. So in a compromise of what we have of something that we connect again, just like with the C, because this is already about connecting, and the K in this essence by going towards the R will be more about connecting than about breaking apart. It will also look a little bit more like C. There's no other way. So we combine these two things which are on the same level. It is, and we have a 1 position which breaks apart. So, but it's also it is also already connecting like in the C, and the breaking apart we also keep, but we keep it separate. So we start from breaking apart and we go to the connection part. This is actually, I already explained, the K has 2 levels of understanding. You start from the K and you end with the C. Here it is somewhat in between. It's both a little bit. So I would say that KAARS, or the candle, it's much more easy to understand with the letter C, but we will need the letter K. You will see in a moment it will come handy to keep it in, to keep the K in, especially in the word KAARS. It will come handy as well, but we will take the option. That's the first time I do this. It's the option that it is somewhat in between the K and the C. We could keep the option of both there. The sound is K, so that is for sure. So if we keep this letter a little bit like the C, but it's still a match with K because it goes from 1 to 2 in one option immediately. Go to the double A, as you can see it expressed there. I'm just following the rules. And then the R, it's an interconnection. It makes connections in all different ways. It comes in, it also comes out, and we connect inside. As you can see there, these are the letters that we will already combine and can combine easily. So here they are combined. You have the C, the K, a little bit like a C, but it's the K. It still is a match with the K. To create the match with the double A and then the R, which is coming in and coming out. It is interactive. It is an interactive rolling in, and it is interconnecting with the elements within. So here I have KAAR. It's almost the complete word. I will add a little bit more. Because the double I in the middle is also a center point of vision. I will make it also a little bit more balanced so that I can work with it better. So the KAAR, I have here the structure in which I can add the last letter. So we had already in the R the interconnection inwards, outwardly, at the outside. I can still have them in the inside as well, but then we also have to add the letter S. So I'll also have the letter S then in the middle. Of course I did that slightly deliberately, but there is a balance there. So from outside to inside and so on. There is an interconnection which you can have in different ways. So it is a slightly artistic adaptation to what we have. We know what we're going to have as the candle. It will fit 100% well with the candle, even when I put it a little bit in that direction. So the S is also about interaction. It is the final result. All these kind of things that are associated with S are expressed there at the right position. The connection is there, and it will be an interaction. What will be then in the content? The content of R is that you have the object in the A, which will be connected in time. What will be connected in time? In S there will be a result that connects itself in time. It will also be an interaction that is a little bit still like a feedback system as we have with the in the S always, but we know also from the candle it is a consuming in time. It is the candle is consumed in time by the flames. You can all recognize all these things by still respecting the full order, the correct order of the letters and the perspective of the intention of what the letters are, where they are, how they work, how they connect, how they interconnect, how they result into things at their specific positions. That's what you have to learn from the theory. They are a match when you follow them, and you follow them in the right order. They match the candle, how you can see it here, the candle in the Dutch word KAARS. So here you have the candle, the K is slightly, it's working in physically in just one direction as the point where you have the breaking point where you put it into the handle. That's I thought that was the candle, and that's a way to see it. K might break up the elements as well. That's why I say it's consuming in the interactions in time. It's consuming even the form in the whole process. That's the way you can understand the candle, and it will fit with the letters and the letter combinations in the form that I have here. So is the breaking point is there, as you can see. Is it the same for the English word? No, it is not. It will create something different, but it's based upon the same object. It will not emphasize the same things, but it will result in this to emphasize and to focus upon the same object. What do you have with candle? You have the C, the A in the middle. Now I will express it. A in the middle, the N of what is in the content of the content that comes in the variations in between what you have with the C in the, and the D is the pressing out of the L. It is also just like the N, it's a little bit imbalanced. You have there a form of development that is vertical, as you can say, within the box of the in between the full picture, let's say. This box isn't 100% necessary, but it helps you to focus on the variations and the N, which is always has to lay inside something in the box, let's say. So then we have the form as a basis of candle. I said that in the beginning I thought candle was only the element of the candle where you put the candle in, so only that part seems to be not to be true. It's the candle that with the fire on top is included as well, but candle, if you simply design it with the letters that you have here, the C, the A, the N, the D, the L, and then the extension I didn't express very well, but with the extension, you have the box here as the extension, not necessary, but the middle part there, that's what it is about. So this part, and it fits pretty well with where, if you put it the other way around, with where you put the candle in. The candle itself is not very recognizable, but you pronounce it not like candle, but more like candle, and the E sound is a direction, which I explained several times, that you have to double the size in the width, length, with the insertion of the elements once more as a background. You have to do that. So that means that you have here the same form, but with the insertion in the background of the same element that doubles themselves, and you have a longer form. So it is as if you have this kind of form in the end. The statue, it's this form of statue that fits quite well. This is the form of the candles that you can find in the church. All of the candles don't match so well. This one matches quite well. You have the place where you put the candle in, the candle itself. Everything is there, every part is there, matches also with the content of the letters and so on. It's the candle that sticks into the statue. That's it, but without the flame. It's actually, we don't have the flame there. In the Dutch word, it's also about the S means also interaction, so it gives you an interaction with the candle and the flames. There's a whole kind of processes that are possible with the Dutch word. Here the candle much more is, strangely enough in English this time, it's much more about the object. Even without the flame, without the interactions, you can't see them here, it's just the object. So yes, it's different from language to language. There can be differences. The frame in which it is still the same. Just follow the rules. You can come to this kind of forms more or less. If you have variations, you will always come to depending from which angle you see it. Like I said, when you have the angle from above, you still will see the same kind of interactions, but some of them will be more clear than others. But the full background formation structure frame in which the letters fit will be the same frame in which the objects fit, and the focus which we have in these objects, and the focus that we think is important. Strangely enough, KAARS has a lot more associations in the time frame, in the interconnections and so on, than the candle. It is as if the candle, as the English word, has less immediate or direct associations that are necessary to recognize the object. Is it handled differently? Maybe it does. That's another investigation, if this influences our mind in that way. Possibly it does. I don't know how much the candles are used in the English part, or how much the candles are used in the Dutch part for this interactive form with fire, or just as a candle. Yeah, that's the form what we have. Just like you have a box, even if what is in it is not that important. I don't know. It's worth an investigation. I wonder, but I recognized combinations of letters in the English and in the Dutch word, and that's what matters for this study. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This was Gerald Johan van Was again. There's a website too, there's a YouTube channel. You discovered it, you are watching it now. There are more instructions on its way, more examples, more demonstrations on in preparation. No, not in preparation, they will come. Thanks again, bye bye.